Case is in session. I call the case of the Vases. This first case involves a plaintiff suing a defendant seeking sales price on certain vases. The plaintiff claims that she is entitled to the sales price. The defendant says she is not. So would you state why you're here? You are the plaintiff in this case.
Yes, Your Honor. I was shopping for a Thomas the Train for my nephew. I went to a tent sale at a local department store, and I went to go look at the table, and they only had one left. I went to go grab it, and this other woman was going to grab it at the same time, and there was pushing and shoving, and I ended up getting the Thomas the Train.
That other woman is not here, though. You're not suing the other woman.
No, she's not, Your Honor.
Okay.
I finally got the train, and I was walking toward the cashier, and I saw a table with a $5 sign leaning on it, and there were these vases, these beautiful vases, but the tags on the vases said $75, but they were at a table where the sign said $5 for vases.
Were you there shopping for the vases too with the, what did you say, a Thomas the Train?
Thomas the Train. Thomas the Train for my nephew.
And that has nothing to do with vases?
No.
But were you looking for vases when you were there?
I was going to the cash register, and I saw that they were only $5, so I figured I need some vases. I might as well pick them up.
Okay, so what'd you do next?
So I picked up 3 vases. I had the 3 vases in my arms with the train, and I headed up to the cashier. And as she was checking me out, I saw that she charged me $75 for each vase.
And that was the ticket price?
That's the ticket price on the vase, but they were on a table that said $5. There were a bunch of vases there. And I said to her... It
wasn't the table that was $5? It was,
no, it was the vases.
Okay. Go ahead.
So she charged me $75 a piece, and I told her, I said, hold on a second, why can't I get the sale price? They were $5. And she said, I cannot give you the sale price. They're $75 a piece. And she was very, very rude. So I said, can I see your manager? And she said, no. So I picked up the vases, and I picked up the train, and I started to go out of the tent towards the store. I heard her call security.
Well, you weren't leaving without paying.
No, I wanted to see the manager.
Okay, and the manager was not in the tent area?
No, no, he or she was not. So I attempted to walk into the store. I went right to the manager's office. I put the stuff down, and I said, I demand the sale price for these items. And she was also very rude, and she said, absolutely not. You're not getting the sale price. These are $75. So I put all 4 things down, and I left. And I didn't pay for any of them. I left everything on her desk.
All right, let's go back to when you were in the tent. Do you remember when you first saw the vases?
Right after I got done fighting with the lady to get the train.
And when she said there was no sale price, do you know what she based that on? Like, why did she say that to you?
I have no idea. I don't know. They were on a table with a sign that said $5.
Okay, what did the sign say exactly? Did it say vases $5, $5 sale?
$5 sale.
And could you just tell me where the sign was? Was it on the table?
It was leaning. It was leaning against the table, like leaning on the table.
Okay, try to describe. I need to see this scene a little bit. Where was the table with the vases to begin with? I mean, was it back by the train? Was it by
I was on my way to the register, and they were not right by the cashier, but right before it.
Well, did you happen to notice if anybody else at the time was carrying vases ahead of you, or you were the only one?
There were a ton of people in there, Your Honor.
They were all shopping. You didn't notice about the vase.
No.
So you had a little bit of pushing and shoving, not for the vase, for the train.
Yes.
And then how many vases were on the table that looked like they were for sale? Do you remember 4, 5, 10?
Maybe 8 or 10.
And how many were you carrying at the time?
3.
You were carrying 3, so you thought you were going to pay whatever the Thomas the Train price was, right?
Right.
Plus $5
for
vase.
each vase.
And instead, she charged you $75 plus 75 plus 75.
Yes.
Okay. And you tried to work with her, the cashier, on that? I mean, you said, look, they're on sale. Absolutely.
I said they were on sale. I demand to see a manager. She was very rude, and she told me no.
And where did security fit in to all
As
this?
I was walking out of the tent, I heard over an intercom that she was calling for security.
Did you think that was for you?
I just wanted to see a manager. I was just so irate.
So you then saw some security guards coming toward you at some point?
Yes. As soon as I got to the manager's office, they were there.
But they did not arrest you?
No,
You
they
said
did
you
not.
left? Did they speak with you?
No, I went, because I left everything in the manager's office after she told me I couldn't have them at sale price.
So as far as you know, the security may have been coming because of you?
Yes, probably.
All right. I'm going to hear from the other side now, and we'll see what this is all about. And you are the defendant, and you represent the store in this case, correct?
Correct.
And what are your job titles in the store?
I'm the manager of the store, so I pretty much oversee everything that's going on in the store. I oversee the employees, I oversee stock, I do all the paperwork, I pretty much all of that stuff. Any miscellaneous things that may come up.
Okay,
I
and
take care of.
I understand from what you gave me an affidavit that you said that you were involved in putting together this sale, that they have a tent once in a while outside and there's a sale.
Correct, yes.
And everything in the tent is normally on sale.
Yes, but it's not like everything in the tent's on sale at the same times. We may have like a one-day special that when people come in, something will be on sale, or like it'll be on sale for 3 days, and then that sale will go off and we'll put different items on. So it's not the same things on sale every day.
And your idea is what? Just to get people in there?
Yeah, so the people who want like one thing on sale, okay, it'll be on sale, but then we want to bring them in again, so we'll change them. We'll put, let's say we had the Thomas the Train on sale one day, we may then put board games on sale the next day. So we have customers come in for different sales, so we don't have everything on sale at the same time.
Okay, now how does the cashier know what's on sale and what's not on sale? Is it through like a barcode or?
Yeah, it's through the computer. The computer is updated every night with what's been on sale, what it'll be on sale for, what the original price was, and then what the sale price is. So that's updated every night on our computer system.
Okay, and so we're clear, she's not suing you for Thomas the Train. She's willing to whatever that price is. But you heard her, she said she's entitled to these vases. Tell me a little bit about the vases, how they're set up.
They were in the tent that we were having, which was stuff that was going to be put on sale off and on throughout the next holiday season. And we move around signs or things like that, like if something's on sale, the sign's there, but then when that's not on sale, the sign gets taken down. We have had instances where customers will move signs or like take a sign from a table and put it on this table so they can go and say, that's on sale, don't you see the sign is there, which our cashiers are trained in. They know when someone's trying to scam them, and we try to be relevant of that. And as she had said, she said the sign was leaning on the table, which is not something that one of our employees would do. We try to make sure everything's properly labeled with the signs on the table, properly labeling that's what's for sale.
So you've had some experience where customers have actually moved a sign to something that's not on sale.
Correct, yes.
And the cashiers know to look for that, and I guess the barcode shows up?
Absolutely.
Well, in this case, there was no indication that she actually moved a sign,
No, Your Honor.
but she said that the barcode did not say it was on sale, but the sign said it was on sale.
That sign must have been from a different item, which is what I think when it said it was leaning, so maybe it was for the table like beside it, and it should have been properly placed on that table. Maybe it had fallen over and someone had just leaned it up against the vase table, but it was incorrectly labeled. Those vases were not on sale that day.
Okay, and there were a lot of people there apparently that day.
Yes.
Tell me more now, what happened? How did you first become aware of this whole problem?
I was sitting in my office doing paperwork that day. It was a busy day for what was going on, but I was getting a lot of paperwork done. And out of nowhere, this woman comes bursting through my door, scares me out of my chair practically, irate about that the cashier wouldn't let her have the vases for the $5 sale price. And I tried to calm her down, but she did not want to hear any of it. She wouldn't let me speak. She was just like, I want this sale price. There's no reason for me not to have this sale price. She was so disrespectful and so irate. And most customers, if they come in and say, I'll buy these, but the wrong sale price, I try to work with them. I want to give them a deal. I don't want them walking out without the item. But she would hear none of it. She threw the stuff on my desk, didn't want to sit down and talk with me. She was irrational.
Is this something that happens to you on a regular basis? Or?
No, Your Honor.
So this is have you had a dispute recently about these sale signs? Or is this the first one in a long time, or ever maybe?
Not ever. I think it's happened before, but usually the customer will come in, they'll be a little upset, like, hey, there was a 50% off sign, and I'll try to work a deal. Well, how about if I give you 25% off? And they're usually like, well, at least that's something. This woman, she didn't want to hear anything. I couldn't even speak to her. She was like talking over me. She was yelling. She was so mad.
Were you getting concerned? I mean, security was there, but apparently they were outside. I mean,
Yeah, I didn't even know security was following her. I was completely shocked when she walked through the door.
So like she just walked in on you?
Yeah, she just burst through my door, started yelling about how she wanted these vases for this price, this is ridiculous, that's what the sign said. And I tried to say, ma'am, calm down, try to explain, and she was like, and I couldn't get any words out. And then she threw the stuff down, she was walking out of the office, and I'm like, ma'am, like, try to talk to me, I want to work with you. And she's screaming, I have other customers looking at her, I'm trying to calm the situation down, and
so this turned into a big scene?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
Just tell me one more thing now. The vases, they normally are $75.
Correct.
And you do sell them for that price.
Yes.
But they were on sale at one
Yes.
point for $5.
Yes.
And then they went back to $75.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
In your experience, then, people have waited for the sale and then come.
Correct.
All right. I think I know, I've heard enough. What I'll do is now I'm going to take a recess and I'll come back with my decision. So this court is in recess. Thank you. Thank you both. All right, I'm ready to issue my decision. I want to say that your conduct, very rude. You should not have to deal with people who are rude and abrasive like that. I think you have a legitimate business, and it's very obvious that you're calm and you're concerned about your business, and you're a very good manager. However, the shopper had the right to rely on the sign in this case. And I think that under the circumstances of what I heard, that the sales price should apply in this particular case because they were on sale, and then somehow the sign got back there and no one in the store noticed it or took care of it, and we don't know how long it was there. So based on everything I heard here today, I find that the verdict is for the plaintiff and she is entitled to the sales price of the vases. Take the next case. Court is in session. This case involves the concept of negligence. And negligence is conduct that is culpable because it falls short of what the law says a reasonable person would do to protect another person from foreseeable risk of harm. If a person can prove that her injury was caused by the negligence of another person, she can recover money damages for the injury. So the plaintiff in this case is going to have to show, when she tells her story, I'll have to find legally that there was a duty of care, that the duty was breached by the defendant, and that it caused the harm. And in this case, I believe the defendant is a football mascot, and the plaintiff was a fan at the game, and there was some type of altercation. So we're going to start with you. You brought a lawsuit. You're asking for $300 in medical bills that you claim he caused. Can you tell me a little bit about what happened?
That is correct, Judge. I'm asking for the $300 because I'm a regular at football games. Every Sunday, my friends and I, we go tailgate before the game. We go to the game. We have a great time. This Sunday, we were tailgating like usual. We went into the game. We had great seats near the 30-yard line.
Let's go back a moment. When you say you're tailgating, does that involve food, drink, what?
Food and drink. I mean, it's almost like a social event. You have so many people around you that love this sport, and it's almost like a celebration with them.
Well, how about if I ask you what kind of drink? Is there alcohol involved?
Well, I do love my tequila. However, I wasn't in the sense that it was out of hand. I was in no state intoxicated.
Okay. So you're telling me you had a few drinks.
Right.
For the game. All right.
Within a social event, I wasn't intoxicated, like I
Okay.
said. So we had great seats, about the 30-yard line, 4th row. And it was about halfway through the game and our team was doing horrible. And as much as I love the game, I love my team. They were playing pretty pitiful, so I was booing at them. And
Booing at your home team.
Right.
All right.
At the time, I was booing pretty loud, and I guess I got the attention of this psycho mascot bird over here because Big Bird came waddling up to me, shaking his finger in my face, telling me to stop
No,
booing.
I didn't know.
All right. Well,
Okay,
I'll give
okay.
you a chance, but let's just hear from her. What do you mean shaking his finger? Can you show me an example like that?
Yeah,
Where
and-
where was he when he was doing that?
He was on the ground still.
And you were up in the stands.
Correct. Correct.
Did you feel it was directed at you in particular?
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead.
Well, that just made me want to boo louder. I mean, he's telling me not to do it. I wanted to boo louder. So I was the 5th seat in, the 4th row up.
All right.
He comes over top of these 4 people that were sitting next to me to get to me in my seat.
Now, how was he dressed at that point? Was he dressed like he is normally, or
No,
did he
full
have-
mascot uniform.
Oh, he had a mascot uniform
Yeah.
on. Okay. So it was kind of big and bulky, and
Oh yeah, I mean, it would have been very uncomfortable for the 4 people he was crawling over to get to me. Very uncomfortable. So he was in my face, shaking his head at me, shaking his finger, stop booing. He wasn't saying anything, but he was in my face.
I imagine he was exciting the fans around you. They might have been laughing at you a little bit. Or
Oh
not.
yeah, they were thrilled. They were having such a good time. He was getting so much attention. Me, on the other hand, he was right in front of me. I was, in a sense, scared. I mean,
All right.
he in his mascot costume, he was a lot bigger than me. So, even though I was scared, I kept booing. It wasn't gonna.
Oh, you kept booing?
It wasn't gonna
Even
deter
though he
my
was
time
right
at the
there?
game. I tried to
Right.
ignore it, like
Right.
nothing was going on. So suddenly, without warning, he decided to sit on me.
How do you mean? Just sit down in your lap? Or
Yeah,
what?
sit down in my lap.
All right. Did he kind of jump on you or just sit on you?
No, just sat on me, but it immediately caused pain to my leg. So I told him, I was yelling at him, get off of me, and he wouldn't listen.
I think I saw in your affidavit that you've done some running and that your legs,
Right,
what-
they're conditioned.
Yeah.
I am a conditioned runner. I do 5Ks. So I mean, it takes a lot to.
But he might have caught the angle some way you said in
Right.
your affidavit. Okay.
Right, but it's
all right.
just the point. There was no reason for him to sit on me. Period.
Okay.
So he sat on me. It caused me pain to my leg. I told him to get off of me. He wouldn't listen. And at this point, I was pushing him to move, and he wouldn't budge. So when I finally got him to get up, he turned around, he shook his head at me, shook his finger at me wildly again, and then left. I mean, I was in extreme pain. I was crying at this point. My friends were still at the game. I wasn't going to leave them there. I had no way to get home. So I stayed for the rest of the game.
But you were, at that point, you felt that there was damage.
Right. There was definitely something wrong.
Did
but
you have any pain before he came up to the stands?
No, not before he sat on me at all. Like I said, it was immense pain as soon as he sat on me.
Okay.
So we left the game. My legs still hurt the next day. I went to the doctor. I mean, after my medical bills, doctor visits, prescriptions, I'm asking for the $300 back because Psycho Big
All
Bird
right.
here obviously did something to
All
my
right.
leg.
Thank you. I think I understand. Let me hear from the other side. And you are the mascot. You acknowledge
That's
being
right.
the mascot.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right. You heard what she said. Were you down on the field when this all started?
Yeah, I was on the field. The game was, basically kind of just, they were going on for quite a while, and like she said, the team was behind. But, I mean, that's my job as the mascot, is to get the people, fired up, get them, cheering, and either way, it doesn't matter as long as they're there. Like she said, it is a social event. Have a good time. That's what I'm there to try to help people, people do.
And you said that your team was the home team, the
Yep.
same team as the plaintiffs, and they were just having one of those bad days.
Yeah, they were
All right.
playing a little behind, yeah.
So tell me a little bit more what happened. What do you do as a mascot normally?
Well, usually as a mascot, my job is to, when the game starts, like before the game starts, for example, I will come out on the field and I'll try to do, something fun with kids. I'll take pictures, or, sometimes during halftime we have giveaways. T-shirts, that type of thing. And usually they have me, since I'm the mascot for the team, I will give stuff away, or I'll be the one to present a T-shirt or a hat or something to somebody. And then during the course of the game, my job is to go up in the stands, just get people to, laugh and have a good time, because that's what they're there for.
Is that what you were doing here?
That's
you
exactly
didn't look
what I
at,
was.
or were you in a personal confrontation
No,
because she was booing?
Not at all, Your Honor. As a matter of fact, prior to the game, I've never had seen her before. All I can say is I was on the field, and I'm a professional, and I know what my job is supposed to be as the mascot. You're supposed to make people excited to be at the football game more than they already are, regardless of how the teams are playing. And it's a big family, and that's why I like what I do so much, because I know the players, the coaches, anybody and everybody who's connected to the team. And so when I see people in the stands, especially ones who look like maybe they're just sitting there staring off, I go over, or they're not having as good a time, I go over and try to work with them and get them a little bit more into the game. And then I heard her booing, and it didn't offend me. It doesn't, that's your right, is to cheer or boo the team.
So you weren't like particularly angry at her. You weren't like focused on her.
No, not.
You just wanted to, just make the
right.
crowd laugh.
I wanted to get the crowd fired up, and that's the thing. I'm at enough games. I started about a year ago. Was the first game of the season, so I know I've been there long enough to know that people are going to boo even your own team. And I just am excited to have the job that I do as mascot, because I think it's important. I think people like to be silly and go a little crazy, as she said about, in her case, she went a lot crazy because she was drinking beforehand. I think that played something to do with, that had something to do with it. But
did she seem that she was drinking or just having fun? And
the closer I got to her, it appeared that way to me. But it is hard. Now the thing she's saying is I jumped over on her and I sat down. I was wearing the outfit, and it is a pretty big outfit. There's a headpiece, and there's big feet that you flop around. And so to wear something like that, it's not the easiest. You have to kind of be careful where where you're going. And when I went up into the stands, it wasn't easy for me to, as she said, just crunch past all these people. I carefully walked by to make sure I didn't hurt anybody. And when I got there, she was booing and kind of jeering the team a little. And I was careful when I decided that I was going to, I admit, sit down. I didn't flop down. I sat down on her. And when I did that, I was very careful because 2 reasons. I don't want to hurt anybody. And second of all, it is big. When you're in that big heavy suit, it's kind of hard to see what you're doing. The eye holes are through the mouth. It's hard to see what you're doing. I didn't want to fall down on the ground and be stuck between the seats or anything.
How did the people around you react? Were they laughing?
Oh,
or
they were cheering.
were they trying to protect her? Or?
Not at all. That's what I can't understand about this whole thing. I think if she was in any real danger, and she was with friends or family or whoever she was there with, if she was in danger, I think they would have, personally tried to come to her aid or try to pull me off. But none of that happened. They were cheering and screaming just as loud as she was.
Is this something that you do, though? You go in the stands on a regular basis?
Yeah, pretty much every game I'm there at some point, and depending on the time of the game, I'm not there the same time every time, but I do go up just about every game we have.
So you could be anywhere in the stadium. You could be walking on the field. You could be walking through the rows.
Right.
Whatever.
Absolutely.
Right.
I go up there, and even on away games, I'll go up, and of course I don't cover as big an area because they're, the team is the other, that belongs to that, facility that we're playing at, but I do go up in the stand, and there was always a small group of people who follow the team, and I always try to go and get them fired up too.
Did you notice that when you left her that she was upset or crying, or didn't you? You just walked, you didn't notice?
The first thing I noticed was the fact that she was booing, and like I said, I kind of laughed because I thought, well, hey, that's what she wants to do, that's fine. So I'm going to go up, I'm going to wave my finger and say, oh, don't, I didn't speak by, not to boo, or I was covering my mouth, like, don't say that. But when I was there, she started getting very loud. She started spitting on me, and just, you spit on me.
No,
you spit
that
on
didn't
my,
happen.
you spit right on.
Right.
She spit on me. Which, I understand that happens. I've had people throw beer and stuff on me too. It's not anything new, but she was yelling.
I think that I understand this. What we're going to do is take a short recess. I'm going to look at my notes and what you said, and then I'll come back and make a decision. So we're in recess for 5 minutes. Okay, I'm ready to render my decision. You know, the mascot in a football game like that, his job is to entertain. It's to do things like that. It's to walk up to people. It's to get people excited. It's to promote excitement for the team. I mean, that's the mascot's job. However, in this case, I find that you went way too far. It's one thing to shake your finger at somebody, but to just sit down or flop down on somebody's leg and cause damage, I find in this case that the plaintiff proved that your actions caused her damage and that you were negligent. Therefore, my verdict is for the plaintiff in the amount of $300.
But
Thank you, Judge.
The first case that we heard tonight involved a possible bait and switch. And bait and switch is when a business or a store tries to encourage a customer to come for a sales price, and then when the customer gets to the store, the item is out of stock or it's sold out and they can't get any more. So they offer the customer a replacement object, which is more money. That is illegal. However, in this case that we heard today with the vases, the customer relied on the store's sign, and there was no indication that in any way the customer was involved in manipulating the sign or doing anything with the sign. And I thought that based on everything I heard, it was a close case, and I don't like to reward people for inoffensive or rude behavior, but the right thing to do in that case was to allow the customer to get the sales price. The second case involved possible assumption of risk. An assumption of risk is when someone, say they go to a football game, you're assuming certain risks that would normally be inherent in attending a football game or a baseball game. For example, if a football gets kicked into the stands and hits somebody on the head, that's a normal risk. If the bleacher would collapse, that's different, and the people would be entitled to sue. So in baseball, if you get hit with a foul ball, assumption of risk. That's very similar to skiing and other activities where you put yourself in a slightly hazardous position like hang gliding and you assume certain risks. However, in the case with the mascot, this fan assumed the risk that the mascot might come and play with her and tease her, but did not assume a risk that the mascot was going to, as she said, flop down on her and hurt her leg. And that's why she won the case. In this case, there was negligence on the part of the mascot. And those were the two cases that we heard today, and we hope to see you again on the show.